Hey guys, I'm Amy and you've landed on Bella's Bargains. That's my cow Effingham, and sometimes he co-hosts with me. He's got a lot to say. This channel is Dollar Tree and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So stick around, consider subscribing, and don't forget to give me that big thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the 4 uploads I do every week, just check out the description box for more information. Enjoy! Hi guys, welcome to Bella's Bargains. My name is Amy and you have landed on day number 11 of my 12 days of Dollar Tree Christmas. So, it's been a whole bunch of fun and I only have one more day left after this and I really like the last day. All right, so let's recap. Let's see, 11 is, I have my cheat sheet right here. 11 Piper's Piping. All right, so we're going to recap really quickly. On the first day of Christmas, we got a gnome and a Christmas tree. On the second day of Christmas, we got 2 oven gloves. On the third day of Christmas, we got 3 silver bells. On the fourth day, 4 books with words, and then 5 golden rings, and then 6 candies king, 7 children playing, 8 squares for quilting, which is my table runner, which is really cool, 9 reindeer prancing, which is over there, and 10 presents wrapping, which is my Christmas tree right there. And on day number 11, which is normally 11 Piper's Piping, right? I just said it. I think I could remember. 11 Piper's Piping. Instead, I did 11 Trees a Swaying. So, I love this piece. Oh my gosh. So we have 11 Christmas trees in this little Farm Fresh Christmas tree ensemble. So this, I don't very often like build things out of the stuff that they give us, but I did this time. I love this tree, by the way, which was new this year. Absolutely love it. And they're Farm Fresh signs, which I've just hung on here because I could change them if I want. And I just kind of like the look of it. So let's just talk about what I did here. I had a couple of their wood pieces that are slatted, 2 of their signs that are the cutting boards, and then there's a portion of a sign that I cut off for something else that I used here. So let me show you how I made this. On the first day of Christmas, my DT gave to me a gnome and a Christmas tree. On the second day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 2 oven gloves and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the third day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 6 candy canings, 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 7 children playing, 6 candies caning, 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, right there, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 8 squares for quilting. I made a table runner, 7 children playing, 6 candies caning, that's a garland, and 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the 9th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 9 reindeer prancing, 8 squares for quilting, 7 children playing, 6 candies caning, 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 10 presents wrapping, 9 reindeer prancing, 8 squares for quilting, 7 children playing, 6 candies caning, 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 11 trees a swaying, 10 presents wrapping, 9 reindeer prancing, 8 squares for quilting, 7 children playing, 6 candies caning, 5 golden rings, 4 books with words, 3 silver bells, 2 oven gloves, and a gnome in a Christmas tree. This is going to be Building a Box by Amy. So these are the signs that came out last year that are the like little, they look like cutting board signs, and they're really cute, but I just want the shape of them to make the sides of my crate thing that I'm going to make here. So first of all, I'm going to open them up, and then I'm going to remove all of the paper, and this takes a little bit of time, but once I get all the paper removed on them, then I'm going to paint them white. So I'm removing the strings because I don't need the strings on these, and I'm just going to start prepping everything. There's all my trees to the side. So I start peeling this off. Let me just tell you, this paper did not come off easy, and there's like a film over it, and I suppose I could have just painted over it, but yeah, I like to have a clean surface, so I worked at it, peeling off, and then I put water on them to soak it, and anyway, eventually I get all of the paper off and I get a nice clean surface to paint, but it's not easy. So we don't need to watch any more of that. Let's go on to painting. And this is just the white paint from Dollar Tree, the Acrylology, and I'm just going to give it, I think in the end I gave them like 2 coats, and that pretty much did it. I didn't need like a super thick covering because I'm going to of course age this, so 2 coats pretty much did it, and I just let them air dry in between. And then once I had those on, there's my shoe polish, just dab some on there so I can just get like a light brushing of that. And you can see how it's not a complete coat, right? I did 2 coats and you can still sort of see shadowing behind it, which of course helps give you that age look. And then I'm just taking this and brushing it on. And the best thing about the shoe polish is it's not super thick like a regular acrylic, so you get a lighter what do you call it? I don't know. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So I'm just going to go around to the edges and do some more of the dry brushing of it on there. And it's just a personal preference here. So I'm going to do that on both of these. And once I'm done with those and I get them to where I want, I'm going to move on to my side pieces. So I'm just going to finish dry brushing on my brown here. So the side pieces that I'm going to use are the little slatted pieces of wood signage, I guess, that I don't know what exactly they call them on their tags, but it's just like a piece of wood that's slatted on one side. And I decide when I get to these to go ahead and paint them on one side, because that's going to be the top of my sign, and then I painted them on the straight side as well because that was going to be to the inside. Just about finishing it. By the way, when you do this dry brushing, I do go back with white and just sort of knock down some of the dark on some of the spots on there, and that after I do the sides. Okay, so white acrylic paint. I'm only going to paint one side because the other 3 sides are going to be glued down and nobody's going to see them. So just one layer of the white on the top here, and then I think I just do 1 coat on the inside piece too. And that's, I probably didn't even have to do that because you can't really see it. It was just, I wasn't sure at this point. As you're building things, you're not sure how it's going to, what's going to be able to be seen in the end and all that. So just in case, it was no big deal to throw a coat on here. So I do that. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing with these 2 pieces, which is the shoe polish to dry brush on some of the brown for some aging. and I want it to sort of match the other pieces, and so I've got to try and get the colors to match. I'm taking heavy dousings of the shoe polish to go into the crevices there because it really makes them stand out. Just look at that, instantaneously. The dark, it's a little itty bitty thing, but it makes a difference. Because that's where all the dirt would be if this were a really aged piece of wood, settling into the crevices. So I'm going to go ahead and age both of these sides. Then I'm going to let everything dry before I start to put it all together. And I think it looks really good. Like, it's a pretty good match with the front pieces here. So again, same thing, just going into those crevices. Kind of heavy brushing it at some points, which is fine. If you hear chewing in the background, that's Jax with his favorite bone, FYI. It probably sounds awful on this. Sorry, guys. Okay, and so now I've got to do the bottom, and I had a piece of a sign, one of their long signs, that I end up using for the bottom because it was already like a chipped looking aged piece of white wood, so it's going to match this perfectly, and you're really not going to see it except for the little bit that sticks out on the sides. Here's where I'm taking the white and I mix it in with the shoe polish just to sort of go over some of the heavier points and almost bring the color down a little bit to match more of the sides. And it's personal preference when you do this. I think this looks really good. I'm loving the way this is coming out. Alright, so here's the cutting board. Here's the sides, and I'm going to start gluing. So I'm going to wood glue and hot glue down on one side. Make sure your slats are pointing out. And then this is just, I'm measuring my bottom piece. So just using that because that's the width I want. And then the length that I want is the side pieces. So this stuff is really, it was one of the really long signs. I think it had a star at the top of it, and I used part of it for something else. So I'm going to use my ruler here, and I'm just going to keep cutting to score that so I can break it off, which works really well. And you just go over it and over it and over it and over it and over it. Eventually it breaks off. This piece, when I broke it off, took a little chunk out. Didn't matter. I'm just going to put it on the bottom. So, and I'm just going to pound it. Boom. See? There you go. And so I'm going to do that same thing with the other side. Only the longer piece here took a little bit more scoring, and then I tried to score it on the back side. Anyway, in the end, I get my piece exactly where I want it. But it's got now brown edges on it because I've cut it, so I do have to run a little paint on that just to make sure that it's the same. That was Marcus on his phone. Let's make sure that it's the same color. And here's where I was like, gosh, it just wasn't breaking, so I scored it on the opposite side. And if you had a little saw, you could do it with that as well. But it does really work, you guys, the scoring it and then breaking it off. It works fine. I wanted this piece to be really perfectly cut because it's going to be on the side. And it's going to stick out a little bit, and I know that. And there it goes. Snap. Yes. Alright, so we're going to go back to building this up. Wood glue, hot glue, putting my first side down. And I'm just... This is personal preference to where you do it because I actually like left a slight little edge when I put it down. I gotta put the lid on the wood glue. And here's where I make my mistake. Because, oh, I must be, one of these goes down wrong. I don't know. Oh no, it fell apart at one point and then I glued it down wrong. That's right. I went too soon to put the top on and it collapses. Can you see there's just a little bit edge sticking out from the sides there? I don't know if, I hope you guys can see that from here. But I liked that look. But you could just take it right to the edge of it if you wanted to. But I wanted the bottom of it to stick out slightly. I just thought it looked more real. So I go to put this on and I haven't let it dry. So this is where I made my mistake. And I'm not sure I catch it on film here, but it collapses. And I'm looking at just distancing there, the same distance that I did on when I glued the first two pieces right here. I hit it too hard, pushed too hard. See? Collapse. So I have to rebuild it. And when I rebuild it, I put the one side on wrong, and it takes me a while before I realize I did that. Like I'm almost done with the whole project, and then I'm like, ah, I have to redo it. Anyway, I'm going to glue it all back together here and then let it dry. And I let it dry for a good long time this time. I was like, no, I'm not doing that again. So here I'm going to glue it on backwards. Watch this. The slats are to the inside. No, no, no. I wanted the slats on the outside. And I don't realize it until much later. But that's okay. I fixed it. So I'm going to continue gluing here. And now I'm going to put my bottom on. And so this is going to slightly stick out on the sides. Because remember, it's the same width as the cutting boards. So wood glue and my hot glue. Put the bottom on, making sure that the part that was slightly damaged right there is on the bottom. Don't want that on the top. And then I'm going to let that dry. And then realize I made a mistake and have to undo it. But, you know, that's kind of how it goes. So when I went to do the signs, I was trying to figure out how I was going to put these on. And in the end, I ended up just leaving them looped the way they were. I had to take it back, re-loop it. I tried nautical string, everything. I was like, no. In the end, I just put it over the handle, through and over. So I like looped it over the handle and it was perfect. And I did not glue down these signs. That's personal preference, I guess. I kind of liked them just hanging. And I felt like if I wanted to change the box in the future, it would be pretty simple. I would just have to remove these signs and pop off the Christmas trees that I end up putting on the side. So much of it when you're creating is personal preference. I could just see this box being used for, or crate, or whatever you want to call it, for lots of other things besides what I ended up using it here for. So I figure out how I'm going to hang them, and then I go, no, I'm going to try twine, and then I do the twine, and the twine's too thin. The string that they have these tied with is thicker, and it's just much nicer. So I do go back to that. But I'm going to try this. I was thinking I'll loop this through, and then I'll loop it through the hole in the cutting board, and then I'll bring it over and I'll knot it. It just didn't work. I just didn't like the look of it, so I went back to the original. And then once I get these signs figured out, I start putting in the Christmas trees, and then decided to add the little embellishment on the side, which was their ornaments, the little ornaments. And that's when I figured out I made a mistake. So see what I did just right there? I put the knot through and looped it over. I ended up liking that the best. So I did that with the other side. I took that twine right off, put the original string right back on, and looped it the same way as I did this one. And now I'm going to start putting my trees in because I haven't yet realized that I made a mistake. So I just started putting the trees in, and that, you know, there's no rhyme nor reason. I was just putting them in there because I just wanted to get my 11 trees in there. And the sides I thought could use a little embellishment, and that's when I grabbed the little plaid Christmas tree ornaments. They come in a 4-pack, and I put those on the sides. And as I'm doing this, like, I end up adding some greenery because it looked good. It was a nice embellishment to the trees all in there. So anyway, you can do it however you want it, but I think this piece came out really, really cute. So you can just watch me finish this up. I'm going to glue on this tree, you guys. By the way, those string of pearl things don't come off. I tried. I was like, dang it. I didn't really want them on there, but I just tried to hide them in there. So they didn't show. In the end, they don't. But I just didn't have enough trees that didn't have something on them. I had to use that one. I'm counting. Like, how many do I have? And then just a couple of pieces of greenery. Here's where I'm going to recognize that I messed up. And I'm going to glue this one on. I don't even recognize it right here. I flip it over, and that's when I recognized it, and I fixed it. In the end, this all came out really cute, and I hope you guys like it. All right, so a little more work, And oh my gosh, mistakes, right? Ah, I hate it when that happens. I mean, when I realized I had the one backwards, I'm like, are you kidding me? I just got it all glued together and I let it dry and everything. But that happens. Crafters make mistakes too. But I love how this came out. And I just want to talk about just the aging. So I know I've watched a lot of people do the dry brushing, but I really love to use, I talk about this all the time, the shoe polish. And if you can't find it at Dollar Tree, apparently you can get it at Dollar General. But the shoe polish, the texture, it's so thin that it just works perfectly for brushing on the aging. And the other thing is to go back over it with your white, which helps immensely because you sort of bleed it into the wood to make it look more aged. And of course, doing it on the sides, which I just think came out incredible, they go together. It just looks like this was made as a piece. And the little sign that I picked on the bottom, which was already aged. Anyway, it just all came out really well. And a couple of things that I did was just adding in a couple of little spritzy pieces too. Anyway, I love all the different colors of the trees. I think that's really fun. And it's just a cool piece just to set in a kitchen. I think this would be really cute because they're shaped like cutting boards or anywhere. But I think it came out really, really well. I hope you guys like it. So on the 11th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 11, I started to say 12, 11 trees a swaying. All right, so I love this piece. I hope you guys like it too. Still don't know which one is my favorite. I think it's still the 4 books with words, which if you haven't been watching is 4 family Bibles that I wrapped and put the nativity scene. So easy, but it's my favorite. And probably the hardest ones were the 9 reindeer prancing, bending those forks, and the house back here, the dollhouse that I turned into a little Christmas wonderland. Anyway, it's been so much fun. So we have one more to go. Let's see. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming. So what are we going to do? I don't know. We're going to do 12 of some things. So you got to come back here and see that. And that'll be in 2 days, which is Christmas Eve. Yeah, it's Christmas Eve. Falls on Sunday. So I'll be back for that on Sunday. I hope you guys have really enjoyed this. It's been a whole bunch of fun and been fun to create. I like the challenge of doing a little creation like this. All right. So everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you back here on Christmas Eve. I'll probably be back here Saturday with a haul. Keeping my fingers crossed. It is a holiday season, so time is running a little short, but I should be back here for a haul on Saturday. All right, everybody. Have a great day, a great week, a great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter, on the 11th day of Christmas, my DT gave to me 11, da-na-na-na. You'll have to come back and see. Everybody, happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree, and I'll see you back here for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.